nice for demo, so, oops, I don't know if you can see it, but the needle right here is going to move when I get charged to move through some wire. Now all I have here are two wires. All right, one is connected, there's a coil of wire in here, and one end is connected to one end of the coil and the other end here. And so if I put these together and move them through space, nothing's happening. But instead what I have is a nice strong magnet, tissue magnet. And I'm going to take this, and can you see? Okay. If you want me to move this, I can. So that's one coil. And so this effect was seen, and they thought, oh, what the heck, let's do two coils. So I just wound them around, and I can move it in and out. Now what do you notice?
The other way.
The up and down, right? The direction that I move the coil makes a difference, and if I hold it still, the effect stops. And so for me to get this to happen, there has to be motion, okay? So that is basically the same thing I'm doing when I'm rotating this. Inside here is a coil of wire, right, and a permanent magnet. And boy, do I ever feel the resistance. What am I hooked up to? Okay, so I am hooked up to something. If you don't have it hooked up to anything, you can just spin it around and around and around, and you don't feel the resistance. So what I know is happening is charge is moving through these coils. And the resistance comes because there are charge carriers that have mass, right? And so there's resistance to charge flow just as there's resistance to mass flow or mass motion. And the resistance actually is related to the thickness. If you think of a hydraulic circuit, the hose can be what the fluid is moving through, and here we have the wires moving, acting as a hose letting charge move through. So in the hydraulic circuit, if we have a smaller hose, then we have less fluid flow. Same thing with a wire. The narrower the diameter of the wire, the more restricted that charge flow, the higher the resistance. But then the next thing I want to do is, instead of just two coils, I'm going to go to all these coils and see what happens. And the magnitude of the current flow is indicated by the deflection of that. So all I have to do is get this coil to move in and out of this permanent magnet, or vice versa, right? I can hold the coil still and move the magnet in and out, and the same thing works. Now, you know what happens up there in Monticello, we just got some guys up there moving these coils like this. And that's it. That's what brings you electricity. But honest to God, that is what brings you electricity. And we figured this out a long time ago, and we're still doing it today. I think we can do better, but we're lazy and we don't, right? So we don't actually have somebody moving the coil, a human being moving the coil. Why do we need all that oil to move a coil in and out of a permanent magnet? We need steam. So what we do is we get steam so that we have a turbine that spins. And then we can get the coil to move and move and move and move. Basically, we need some other devices here, because obviously we'll get stuck in this magnet. But basically, you're just getting a coil to move relative to this magnetic field. And steam makes the turbine move, so we need heat to make the steam, so we use coal, and we now use steam. Come on, we can do better. Right? There's got to be a way we can do better. Now let's think about this. You looked at a little tiny compass today, and when you looked at that little tiny compass, you decided that the needle had been rubbed or had not been rubbed? Had been rubbed. Okay, it acted like a rubbed nail. And so now if I take that compass, just like the rubbed nail, had direction, right? And you all said it's because the Earth has a magnetic field. Am I correct? All right. So the Earth has a magnetic field. So if the Earth has a magnetic field, why don't I just move this wire through the Earth and generate electricity? Why do I need a bar magnet? It's too weak, she says. But should it work? Do we live in a magnetic field? Anybody pick up your fireplace tools in the fall and find out they're magnetized? They've been, oh shoot. Okay. They've been sitting at rest. right, in one position in this Earth's magnetic field all summer long, and you pick them up and take it towards a little screw or a little, and it picks it up. Because it's been in the field, a force has been acting on all those little electrons, those little domains that we call, in getting the spin to line up all the same way, whatever that spin means. And so you've magnetized that poker. That's kind of cool. Yeah.
When I was in the Arctic and we were having trouble with the directional, and we were on land, we had to go out to the lake,